Hello, this is my review of Shea Earnshaw's Long Live the Pumpkin Queen from semi-sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, personally, I don't know if this is like canon or they're like trying to develop this into like a movie or something later on, or if this is just like a little passion project someone had and Disney invested in it. I have no personal idea about that. I just wanted to do a review on this book finally because I've had it for a good while. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty good read. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was so long ago, I might have a few slips of the mind if I got something wrong, or it could be incorrect. So that's just a heads up. I just finally had the free time to finally put this together and make my first ever review on this. So I wanted to settle down and finally do it for once. So this is like my first ever book review. And I'll start from the beginning as much as I can remember. This was a pretty good read, I have to say. It started up, I think a year or two after the original movie ended. That's where we're going with. And it's weird because they had that video game sequel, I remember, and it kind of came off as a sequel. And that one, I don't know if they ever wanted to develop anything further with that. But they just stuck with this book out now, so I wonder how that's going to turn into anything more. And it's a full cover, and this is the lady that made it. How many pages was this? About, I get the number right here. 315 pages. It was all a good read. And a nice little villain. I shouldn't really spoil anything, so I don't want to say anything about it. You know what? Would be a spoiler if I already read it and you're coming here for a full review. So, if you don't want to watch, you can just continue on there. I'm not going to spoil things then. I might as well go into a lot of detail from what I can remember. Just say like, hey, I remember that. That's funny. Because it was such a good read, probably. It started off pretty good as a sequel. Sally and Jack go to, I think it was Valentine's Land or something, and there was some queen there. I originally thought she was going to be like the main antagonist, just about everything she was into. And she has like a passion or like a love for some dead guy. I think it was like Beethoven or Shakespeare, one of that. Some famous art writer back in there, a musician. One of those. I can't remember. I just know it was some guy from the 1700s. It had to be, or the 1600s. One Victorian era. But that's regardless of the fact. She was into that, and she was talking about love, and I think she was kind of semi like sad that she didn't have anyone in time yet, and she had all these like cherubs and like little babies like flying around, and all that going about with her land, and how like she's like the queen of love and things weren't working out for her, and they're on like that vacation for a while. Then I think Sally goes off after a while because she was singing about her future or something. I can't remember that part. It was a long time ago. And she finds all these old trees, and then she finds one that's like abandoned, and I think it had a moon on it, if I can remember. I don't know how this is relevant to like holidays though, because I know that doors are all supposed to be themed around holidays. I don't know how that's supposed to be like a theme around a holiday, personally, altogether. But you know, there's probably some info I'm probably forgetting, but I just don't see it, and just from my mind what it was supposed to represent or anything. So she goes through there, in this like door that's supposed to be like all covered in like brambles and tree like bark. And she goes in, she finds this place, and immediately there's like a guy that comes out of it, and it's like she goes through it, I think, and she talks to someone, I can't remember. But she comes out of it eventually, and she comes back, for some reason, everyone's asleep, and they aren't waking up, and she's like all freaking out, she doesn't know what's going on, she hears someone like coming around, walking about, and putting people to sleep, it looks like. So she's freaking out, no one's waking up, and she's just freaking out, runs away and back to the holidays, finds everyone else there asleep, goes to this holiday, everyone else is asleep, and I think she finds like a leprechaun fella in March for St. Patrick's. So she gets a friend there, and I think he stays. I think I can't remember. Then they go on from there, or she does, and she tried all the other holidays, nothing's there, and she just figures she's gonna give up, but it, blah blah blah, holiday, I mean like Disney crap, and we're like, oh okay, I gotta do this, I gotta go this way, I gotta go this route, get the hero's journey and go forward that way. So she goes back to the nightmare place, and she figures out that she's actually from there, because apparently, okay, yeah, I already said spoilers, but yeah, she finds out her parents were there, so she's not actually from Halloween Town, like an undead like zombie person or something like that. Like I originally thought she was like a Frankenstein thing, but apparently she's a rag doll. She's like a rag doll, all these like sleeping puppets and like kind of like teddy bear people, like toys that people go to bed with. So that was interesting. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That's a good way to take the story with her. And her parents are like explaining, like, yeah, she were kidnapped a long time ago. We don't know who did it, but it was turns out to be the guy that it was. She used to be like a maid to. I forget his name. The doctor guy, and so that happens later on in the story, but they figure out in a bit, and she where did we go from there? She figures out the guy. The reason why she was immune and didn't fall asleep when she got caught that one time is because she's from there and they're immune to it themselves. So she tries to find the guy and trick him, and eventually she wakes him up, I believe, and he wakes up. I'm kind of like just going forward as fast as I can with this because I just wanted to get this all as fastly done as possible. Might have stuff to do here in a bit. And she goes there, talks to the guy, I think it was, and that like, hey, you've been doing this, screwing us all over, putting on everyone to sleep. What's your problem? And it's like, oh, I can't sleep. I'm like an insomniac. I don't get to have dreams. That's why I've been like kind of like stealing everyone else's dreams and putting them to sleep. And he's like coming off as like I did it out of like greed, but I didn't do it because I was asleep while doing it. So I was like sleepwalking and being evil while being sleepwalking, which I thought was like kind of a cop out, kind of lame. I thought like, come on, I mean, you didn't want to like go anywhere with that, like tell him like, okay, maybe you should like not ever get to sleep again or something like that, or like kind of do some kind of like punishment for it. I think he does some penance later on, like he's doing something for the townsfolk of where he's from, or Halloween Town, or just helping people fall asleep in other places or something in a different way, like more kindly. Or he goes back to sleep for like 1,000 years, just out of like, okay, I just will go to sleep for a long time and just like forget about this all. I can't remember that part. That was like the near end, and I'm mad I can't remember that. But I mean, like I was frustrated about it, like, oh man, I think they could have done it different. But that went from there, and the Jack wakes up, and everyone else wakes up in Halloween Town later on, like I said, and they talk to the doctor guy, like, hey, you screwed us all over by, you screwed over Sally over by like kidnapping her and ruining her life because she could have been with her parents and everything. And he becomes kind of like, instead of being banished or anything like that, Jack just sends him off to be like a slave worker at I guess for like the people in the night town, I believe, the sleeping town. I'm not entirely sure if that's exactly it, but I know he's punished in some way, like he's pretty much just like a worker 24/7 now because of it. And it's kind of, I think they mentioned that wife of his in the ending of the first movie. Well, there is only one movie, but like they mentioned her, like his like lady friend. I don't know if it's like his wife that he made, or like a replacement, just an all together for Sally. But she's there, but she's not really involved at all. Like they don't even mention her that much. And I feel like they could have done some of that character. Like I don't know if she's like the same like suit as Sally. Like she doesn't want to do this, and this is there as a burden. Like she has to do it no matter what. Or is she like unhappy with it? Or is she like truly in love with the guy? I don't know. I don't think they really talk much about her, which kind of sucks. I wish I could have learned a bit more about that character. I can't even remember her name. That's how little she got screen time. She was only in for like, I think, one page when they mentioned her. and it's later on she was mentioned there again at the ending, like because he was like out there working, and she was there in the background. I think I can't remember. So that's how the whole story usually goes, and it was just a lot of just Sally like trying to figure out like okay, she had to go to different holidays to figure out where to go, and then she finally ends up back at the night town where she started. When the whole story, because she was like wondering if she's gonna be like the next Pumpkin Queen, all the like the stress of it all, and all the people like putting burdens on her, like dresses and all that stuff, like all the politics of that, I guess. But it was okay. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good read. All in all, I give it a like a 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I feel like there are some things that could have been into more detail. I mean, like all the other side characters that don't really even get any screen time at all in this book. I know the three trick or treater kids. I forget the name of. They don't have anything. I think they're only like involved. I think in 2 scenes in the entire book, and they're not even awake later on. So it's like they're asleep like everyone else. Again, this is a while since I read this, but I want to get it done. And this is just a test project of mine to see if I should do more of these when I get more free time to read. And this is like something to scratch up my bucket list of just making a video once again. And I might do more. Might make something else. Might do another review of something else I have in my little library around me. If you want to read it, I highly recommend buying it. And I hope they do more of the Nightmare Before Christmas series. Thank you for watching. If you have anything you want to correct me on or tell me about, let me know. I really like to know if there's any more books like this coming out or something similar, or any other recommendations I should check out. I have a kind of a soft spot for like books about love and passion and all that stuff. Granted, that wasn't really much of that in here, which I was kind of like hoping for with the whole gun going to Valentine's Day. Like a hopeless romantic kind of vibe that I have. It's just I wasn't really satisfied in that route, but I enjoyed it. I would hope they like add more characters if they make another book like this, or like touch on the Valentine's lady. It was a nice day, nice read. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Hope to see you around. Have a lovely day. I don't know what else to say. Just be safe. Goodbye.